The year is 213 BC. A wind blows across the Xianying Plains, carrying a scent that will define the next 2,000 years of human history. The smell of burning silk and ancient bamboo. Thousands of years of poetry, history, and philosophy. The collective wisdom of 100 generations are being fed into the flames. This is not a riot. It is an ordinance. It is the Finshu, the burning of the books. But paper and bamboo are easy to replace. Memories are harder. To truly kill an idea, you have to kill the vessel. A year later, 460 of the empire's most brilliant minds are led to a massive pit in the earth. They are the kangaroo, the scholars to be buried. As the first shovel of dirt hits their faces, a new world is born. A world where the past is a crime, and the emperor is the only reality. This is the story of how China's first emperor didn't just conquer land. He conquered the human mind. He created a prototype for the unified state that has never truly been dismantled. Before there was one China, there was the everything. From the 6th to the 3rd century BC, China was a psychological battlefield known as the 100 Schools of Thought. Imagine a world where every city-state had its own truth. You had the Confucians preaching ritual and family, the Taoists advocating for the flow of nature, the Mahists dreaming of universal love and anti-war technology. It was a golden age of the intellect, but it was a dark age for the body. 7 states were locked in a warring states period that lasted 250 years. Blood soaked the yellow earth daily. The diversity of thought was blamed for the chaos. The logic of the time was simple. Too many ideas lead to too many arguments. Too many arguments lead to too many wars. In the western state of Qin, a new philosophy was brewing. It wasn't interested in virtue or nature. It was interested in power. This was legalism. Its core tenet? Humans are fundamentally broken, selfish, and stupid. They do not need to be inspired. They need to be steered. The man who would become Qin Shi Huang was a pragmatist of the highest and most terrifying order. Alongside his chancellor, Li Si, he realized that a physical empire is a fragile thing. If you conquer a man with a sword, his son will hate you. If you conquer a man with a system, his grandson won't even know you were ever his enemy. To build an eternal empire, they had to eliminate the alternate reality. Li Si issued a memo that still haunts historians. He argued that the scholars used the past to criticize the present. They looked at ancient kings to prove the current emperor was wrong. To Li Si, this was treason. The decree was absolute. All books of history, poetry, and philosophy, except for the records of the Qin state and practical manuals on medicine and farming, were to be surrendered to the governors and burned. If 2 people were caught discussing these books, they were executed in public. If you used the past to disparage the present, your entire family was wiped out. The Finshu kangaroo, the burning of books and burying of scholars, is often debated by historians, but its psychological impact is undeniable. The emperor didn't just want to destroy the books. He wanted to destroy the intellectual class. He saw them as a parasite that prevented the unification of the mind. By burying 460 scholars alive, he sent a message to the survivors. Your brain is the property of the state. Think about the sheer scale of this erasure. Imagine every library in your country being emptied today.
Every digital archive deleted.
Only the official manual remains. Within a generation, the old world was a ghost story. The young people of Qin grew up in a world where there was only one king, one way, and one truth. The emperor had successfully performed a factory reset on the Chinese consciousness. With the scholars silenced, the real work of the unified mind began. The emperor realized that language is the greatest wall of all. At the time, different states used different scripts. You could travel 50 miles and not be able to read a sign. He abolished the old scripts. He enforced a single, standardized writing system, the small seal script. Suddenly, the entire world spoke the same visual language. He standardized weights and measures. He even standardized the length of cart axles, so that every wheel in the empire fit into the same ruts in the road. This wasn't just about trade. It was about identity. If you use the same money, read the same script, follow the same laws, and have the same history, you stop being a man of Chu or a man of Yen. You become a subject of Qin. This was the birth of the Han identity, a collective consciousness that has survived for 2,000 years. while the Roman Empire fell and shattered into dozens of different countries and languages. China always, eventually, pulled back together. The unified mind was too strong to stay broken. We look at the Qin dynasty and see a brutal ancient regime. But look closer at the world today. The great firewall of the 21st century, the social credit systems, the emphasis on the collective over the individual. These are not communist inventions. They are the modern descendants of the kangaroo. The logic of the unified mind remains the same. Stability is the highest virtue. In exchange for that stability, the state asks for something precious: your right to have a different version of the past. The kangaroo taught the world a terrifying lesson. You can build a civilization that lasts forever, but you have to build it on a foundation of silence. Qin Shi Huang died searching for an elixir of immortality. He never found it in a bottle, but he found it in the system he left behind. Every time a book is banned, every time an algorithm hides a dangerous idea, the ghost of the first emperor smiles. He knew that the most effective way to rule isn't to control what people do, but to control what they know. The unified mind is China's greatest strength and its most haunting burden. It is the reason the country stands as a monolith today, and the reason the ghosts of those 460 scholars still wander the foundations of the Great Wall. History is not just a record of what happened. It is a battle for what we are allowed to remember. If you believe that the diversity of thought is worth the chaos of debate, then you have a role in this story. We are building a community of those who refuse to let the past be erased. Join us. Subscribe to this channel to ensure these stories remain unburied. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a deep dive into the shadows of our shared history. And tell us in the comments, if you had to choose between a world of perfect order and a world of chaotic freedom, which would you pick? The Emperor is watching, but so are we.